peace and love. Let's remove all negative, unwanted energies, vibrations, and frequencies from our space. In the spirit of love and the spirit of truth, peace, harmony, and joy to you. How to Use Your Healing Power by Joseph Murphy. The meanings and healings of Jesus. The meanings of the healings of Jesus. Chapter 8, Hearing Restored. And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. And Jesus answered and said, Suffer ye thus far? And he touched his ear and healed him. Luke chapter 22, verse 50-51. Many people ask me whether it is right to pray for someone who is sick, troubled, or in some difficulty. They usually say, he didn't ask me to pray for him. As you read the above verses, you are not told that the servant asked Jesus to restore his ear. Jesus apparently didn't wait for the question, but voluntarily restored the ear. It seems like begging the question to ask, should I pray for someone in trouble? Of course. You may pray for anyone you wish. And it will be most excellent to pray once a day for all men, women, and children throughout the world, wishing them harmony, health, peace, love, and joy. Pray for the president, the Congress, people in your office, your home, and the whole world will be blessed because you have performed such unselfish devotions. Sometimes I am asked this question: should I pray for my mother who does not believe in divine healing and is opposed to this teaching about mental and spiritual laws? The answer is simple. If the mother, father, or relative has no faith in your religious convictions or in your particular technique or process of prayer, that does not make any difference. Whatever. When you pray for someone, you must not bother with the question of whether he believes or disbelieves, whether he accepts or rejects. Neither do you concern yourself with church affiliations or agnosticism. Furthermore, you pay no attention to his symptoms, aberrations, mental conflicts, or blocks of any kind. You simply enter into the silence of your soul, immobilize your attention, and mentally reject all sense evidence. Basically, close your eyes, go into tranquility, and reject all sense evidence as in the external world, as in smell, sound. You're going to hear sounds anyway, but the more you go deeper, the more you get into tranquility, you won't even hear people talking in your room. But that's besides the point. You do this decisively and categorically. Quietly know that the infinite healing power is timeless and spaceless, and that it embraces the one you are praying for. Then you silently feel or quietly affirm the truth just as you like. You don't have to use any words. You can feel the truth of what you think, that the harmony, health, power, peace, order, and perfection of God are now being manifested in your friend's mind and body. Know that there is but one mind, and in mind there is neither time nor space. You are one with your friend because you are thinking of him. In the language of Troward, you are in rapport with him. Because our minds mingle like atmospheres, and each has its identity in that atmosphere. What you feel and know is true about your friend will be resurrected in his experience. You have taken his request or his desire for health and made it your own. As you contemplate the qualities and attributes of God, knowing that these qualities are now being experienced by your friend, there is an immediate response in the mental structure of your friend, and a reordering of his mind takes place, bringing about a perfect healing. You're in a sense of peace and confidence that the law of health and harmony is now in operations, brings about a sense of faith and trust in you. As you continue to pray, perhaps 2 or 3 times a day, the time will come when you will lose all desire to pray because your prayer is answered. You cannot desire what you already have. You cannot desire what you already have because you already got it. You don't desire to breathe because you breathe it. A doctor does not treat a patient who is healed. The patient requires no further treatment. Prayer operates on the same principle. You pray until you need no longer pray. We see and hear with the mind. In biblical language, we cut off an ear when we cease listening to the troubled voice of the world with its false beliefs, terrors, and superstitions. Jesus touching the earth and healing it means that we should hear the voice of truth, which says, I am God, and there is no God beside me. We should hear only that which fills our soul with joy. Hear the good news about the other. To what are you giving attention? If you are listening to gossip, criticism, and condemnation, you are not hearing the truth. If someone tells you that you are going to fail in your enterprise, and if you give him any attention, you are not hearing the gospel or good news about yourself. And you don't even have to argue. Just if somebody do come to you like that and be like, oh, that shit you trying to do ain't gonna work, you don't have to argue with them. You don't have to debate with them. You don't have to prove anything. All you have to do is know the truth, which is the goodness of God. All belongs to you. Go within yourself. Place all your attention on the idea of success. You will immediately begin to enter into a mood or feeling of success. You are now hearing the good news because you are under a good spell. You are now absorbed, engrossed, and fascinated by the idea of success, achievement, and accomplishment. You know that fear and success are simply 2 ideas in the mind. You know that you were born to succeed and that you have all the equipment necessary. The fear thought is false. It's an illusion. It's a shadow of the mind. A shadow has no power or substance. The idea of success is real, and your subconscious power will move on your behalf, compelling you to take all the steps necessary as you give your attention to the idea of success. You are now hearing the truth. It is always right to bless the other, even when they're trying to tear you down. Surely there can't be anything wrong with wishing for other people's good health, harmony, joy, and peace, and all of God's riches. That is the answer to those who say, is it wrong to pray for the other if he didn't ask me? Of course not. You should wish for everyone what you wish for yourself. Love is the fulfilling of the law. love is sincerely radiating the sunshine of God's love, light, and truth to all men everywhere. This is the law which brings fulfillment, happiness, peace, and abundance into your own life. What we withhold from another, we withhold from ourselves. Actually, there is no other. All of us are in the one mind, in the one spirit, which is indivisible. There can be no divisions or quarrels in it. One part can be antagonistic to another part. One part cannot be antagonistic to another part. If that were so, there would be no harmony, only chaos. The infinite cannot be divided. For example, if you are praying for prosperity and you are resenting the wealth and riches of another, you are condemning what you are praying for. And your good takes wings and flies away. How can you attract wealth when you resent its manifestation in another? You are thinking and feeling lack instead of abundance. And as you think and feel, so are you. Thinking makes consciousness, and your state of consciousness governs your world. When you see this truth, you are Jesus. Illumined reason, awareness of truth. Touching the earth, hearing the truth which frees you, and healing it. Example, breathing about a state of wholeness or unity in your mind. You are told that he cut off his right ear. The right means the objective world. Worldly opinion, sense evidence, and judging according to appearances. Cut off that right ear now, once and for all, and give no power to external phenomena. Do not worship or give power to germs, nor bow down in fear before them. Because God gave you dominion over all earthly things. Don't get panic stricken when someone sneezes and say, "Oh, I'll catch a cold." Reject that false belief that a fan will give you a stiff neck, or that the cold night air will give you pneumonia or bronchial trouble. The weather has no power over you. We give power to these things because we believe that they affect us. We suffer according to our belief. The fan is harmless. It never said to anyone, "I will give you a cold if you sit near me or under me." That's something somebody came up with. The fan didn't say that. Some person said that. The fan is neutral. It is a metallic substance composed of molecules revolving at a high speed. Bless the fan, bless the weather. God pronounced all things good. When your feet get wet, don't say that the water will give you pneumonia. The water never said that. Why do you say it? Because you heard somebody else say it. That's why you say it. Man has created countless false gods, and all his trouble arises out of his darkened mind and distorted imagination. Nicole of England says that all man's evil is due to misunderstanding. Man sees through a glass darkly due to the twilight in his mind. When the shadows fall in the evening, sometimes man mistakes a stump of a tree with some branches for an enemy with a gun aimed at his heart. He becomes frozen with fear. This is the twilight in his mind. He has not heard, he has not seen. Become Jesus. Become awakened to the truth and know that there is but one primal cause, which is your own consciousness. Cease making secondary causes. To know that your I am is the only power, the only cause, the only substance is to free you from all the false gods of the world, enabling you to go forth with the song of God in your heart. Your ears are symbolic of understanding. Many people who complain of their inability to hear the writer at his public lectures on Sunday now sit at the rear of the lecture hall and hear perfectly. Their interest in truth was aroused. Their attention was quickened. And there was a normal, healthy response from the deeper mind. The following is a simple prayer which I give to people suffering from ear troubles of any kind. I hear the truth. I love the truth. I know my truth. My ears are God's perfect ideas functioning perfectly at all the time. My ears are imperfect instruments which reveals God's harmony to me. The love, beauty, and harmony of God flow through my ears. I am in tune with the infinite. I hear the still, small voice of God within me. The healing presence quickens my hearing, and my ears are open and free. My experiences with people have convinced me that a great number of people become deaf, or partially so, because they don't want to hear the voice of someone. They are trying to shut out certain things. If a man has a nagging wife, he may not want to hear her, and gradually he loses his hearing capacity. These negative auto-suggestions sink into his subconscious mind, and the latter proceeds to follow out the suggestion given. You can place a man in a trance state and suggest to him that he cannot hear until you tell him he can. The subconscious, being amenable to suggestion, accepts the suggestion of the operator, and he can't hear. This shows us how our mind works. We must, therefore, be exceedingly careful of the thoughts we entertain and give attention to in our mind. There are many people who deliberately shut out the truth. They say, I don't want to hear a word of that. Shut that man off. I don't want to hear his voice. I hate that voice. I don't want to hear it. I won't hear it, etc. These are similar statements. These and similar statements are expressed with such emphasis and feeling that they become highly destructive. Our subconscious mind accepts these statements as requests and proceeds to bring them to pass in our experience. You have heard the old maxim which contains a great truth. There are none so deaf as those that will not hear. Dr. Flanders Dunbar, famous authority of psychosomatic medicine, cites many cases where deafness was due to a mental and emotional disturbances. In her book, Emotions and Bodily Changes, she cites a case of a man of 45 who had been married for 20 years and had to use a hearing aid. He ascribed his deafness to swimming. He thought that one advantage of being deaf was that he didn't have to listen to his wife. The doctor asked to examine the hearing aid, but went right on talking. They became engaged in such an animated conversation that it was not until half an hour later that he discovered the doctor was still holding his hearing aid. By now, of course, you have deduced what was wrong with his hearing. His subconscious mind responded to his desire not to listen to his wife. There are people who have a form of deafness due to the fact that their mind is closed to all ideas but their own. They are unyielding, inflexible, dogmatic, and full of pride. Hearing is a mental and spiritual process. Trust the divine intelligence which made your ears and all their ports. I will restore health unto thee and heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord. So, just a little few quick things I want to say. Your subconscious mind is obeying your command. Even if you say something completely negative, it's obeying your command because you have dominion over all earthly things. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So when you say something, there's a power, the infinite intelligence, the divine mind, which God created all of this with. It said, God said, let there be light, and there was light. So you have that same power. You speak. It's power in your tongue. When you speak, the ethers listen. And they say, oh, Master said he wants to have a bad day today. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to do everything we can to make sure he have a bad day. Because it thinks that's what you want. You can just reverse it and say, I want to have a good day today. And I don't give a damn how it's going to happen. But I'm going to have a great day today. And watch what happens. Keep saying, say that for 7 days in a row. And comment on this video and tell me what happened in your days. Peace and love. Have a nice day. I'll see y'all next time, my friends.